what's up guys? I'm way over here. Do you see what I'm holding in my hand? That's some good news right there. We've got electrical power from the transformer, or electrical cable from the transformer all the way up here to the meter box. So that's the good news. The bad news is they only had a small mini excavator, so they couldn't backfill and grade off this trench very well. So we got a mess out here, and they also dug up the driveway, so I have dirt where I should have stone or millings. But now the second good news is I got a tractor and I like using it. So let's get to work fixing this. When those guys came in and did that, that's typically the way that they leave a power line after they bury it. And they did that for 800 feet for our transformer here, and they just don't grade it afterwards. They've got 7 or 8 jobs to do. They got about an hour per job, and they just backfill it the best they can. And as a general homeowner, if you don't have a tractor, I don't know how you fix it. I mean, you can shovel it and rake it, but nothing will pack it and grade it as well as a tractor. I don't want to bring any of this sand into the driveway, so I think first I'll kind of grade the driveway here and see what we got, pack that in back and forth with the tractor tires, and then take this sand and kind of do the same over there, but not bring that sand over to here. I'm going to go on the other side here. The millings kind of stop right here. These are asphalt millings from an old road bed that was ground up that we bought. And look what I'm doing with my loader. I'm pushing it with my bucket folded all the way forward and my hydraulic arms fully extended. And I'm not trying to tell you to do this, but I do this a lot, and I get a lot of comments about it, that I don't know how to use a tractor, and I'm going to break my tractor, and all that type of stuff. And I understand that it puts stress on the loader and the cylinder. I understand the physics or the physical part of it, but I can't think of a better way to do it. Well, some people say to do this is take your bucket, kind of put it down. I don't have a bucket indicator, so I don't know exactly where my bucket is at, but as far as level to the ground, and they say then get your bucket full and then push with your bucket full, and that's better. And I'm not saying it's not better for the tractor, but I'm saying as an operator, I can't see what I just did. So this is the way I do it. I'm very interested in your comments and your thoughts on this. I do this a lot and I've never broke anything. Maybe I'm just lucky. So I pushed this high edge into here and it came out pretty good, but it's a little soft, so I'm gonna just keep going back and forth with it. That Bombalite mulch on the back weighs like 1,200 pounds, so it gives me a lot more extra weight to help pack it. Amazing what you can do with just a tractor, front end loader, and a bucket. I've got this packed in. I tried not to mix the dirt so much with the gravel, but it'll wash out. Once the rain gets here, the dirt will wash away and leave the gravel. But I got the crown kind of reestablished. I got to get a little bit more of that dirt there, put it on top of the road, pack it in. And then I'm going to pull away that sand dirt there where that ditch is filling in, going down the right side of the tractor, and then take that dirt and fill in the trench here, because we've had so much construction traffic here, just big heavy trucks bringing material, and then also the workers day in and day out. They've kind of worn down the gravel in the middle of the road, so I think I'm going to reclaim the gravel that's kind of went off to the side to the grass and kind of back blade that over top of here. I still might have to get some from my stash down there. I've got probably 2 dump truck loads down there by the pine trees that are left over from building the road, but I might have enough here if I reclaim it. The tractor just went into regen mode where it's burning off the particulates inside of the DPF. If you don't know what that is, I'll show you what it looks like on the dash. So I was working in pretty low RPMs. When that light came on, it told me to push up the RPM so it could get hot enough to burn off that filter. I tried to put the camera in the same place as where the video started, and I started back there at the meter box. But I got all this done. I brought everything into the center over top of the trench, and I packed it, I backbladed it, and then I packed it with the tractor tires. So I think that's good enough to throw down some grass seed, then throw some hay over top of it. And in the spring, that should come back good, and it's level enough so that it won't beat you up on the lawnmower. Then I reclaimed the dirt out of this, we'll call it a ditch, but anyhow, the water flows down here. I gotta do more work later. But for now, I reclaimed that dirt. I got all of the trench packed, and I got a little crown back to the road. The road has got way more dirt than I wanted in it. And I tried to backblade some of the millings back here, but because of the barrier we have up there to keep people from driving over the septic drain field, I can't really do what I want to do as far as pulling those millings out of the grass and then putting them in the center of the road and backblading them. So I backbladed a little bit of millings here, but not enough. So I'll probably get 1 or 2 bucket loads and put them here and spread them out. But the idea is that the black top or the black millings end about here, but everything from here making the turn up to the new house and the garage will all be limestone. And just looking at that, number one, it's just gonna be expensive. Everything about this house build has been expensive, but I'm thinking that's 3 loads of limestone at $1,000 a piece. And if I don't use any base, road base for it, I mean, that's $3,000 right there, and I'll probably get 2 loads of road base, probably $5,000 just to put gravel from here to the garage, and that's if I do the work myself. I say if I do the work myself, there's no way I'm paying anybody to do tractor work as long as I'm able and as long as I have a running tractor. I enjoy it too much, and people charge too much for that type of work. But I gotta finish this up here next to the house. It's a little bit more technical. I gotta be a little bit more careful. But I've already scraped away the pine needles that were put there for erosion control. And now I just gotta work this dirt. A pile of dirt there. Got a lot of dirt up there around that HVAC pad. And then also the bricklayer has some dirt piles from where we're putting in the stoop here around the front. So I'm gonna move that dirt for him. I'm so thankful we have the tractor and we can do it ourselves, but come on. I mean, they knew when they dug that out, that dirt was going to be a problem, and they just didn't care. They just piled it up there and left. Yeah, the concrete looks okay, but who's going to move that dirt? Just aggravating building a new house, it really is. So when they washed out whatever they were using to pour that, they just dumped it right here. Like, who is gonna clean that up, right? This is where my grass is gonna be. Who's gonna clean it up? I'll tell you who cleans it up. The same guy that's paying their labor, the homeowner. Just really frustrating. I've already done this. I've put in 3 days of work cleaning up the absolute mess that the concrete crew who poured the slab for this house left behind. I would really like to know, to other people out there that have built a house, is this normal? This person was paid to make that slab, and when they dug it out, they put the dirt wherever they put it, in a pile in the way. They threw some up there against the brick. The power folks came in here and they dug it, and then they left it like this. So this is 2 different contractors that left a mess. It's not like I chose the lowest bidder, right? With the power company, you just call the power company and they do it. And they have a contractor that this is their job. It's what they do on a daily basis, right? They do 7 or 10 of these. Like if I was doing the job, I get it. It's not gonna be as good as I'm gonna do it with a tractor. I've got more time, but if you're proficient with an excavator, you can swing your bucket and swing your house there and move a lot of this dirt. And well, there's a big old piece of chunk of something from the electrician just thrown on the ground. But it bothers me, and I feel like I'm the only one that it bothers. And they knew when they left it, a brand new, unfortunately very expensive house, and they thought it was okay just to leave the dirt like this, that someone else was going to clean up their mess. So leave a comment down below. I mean, do you experience this? Because this is the second house we've built in 3 or 4 years. First one was for my parents. My dad has passed away, so I guess we expected more. We expected more for the price that we're paying. And if it sounds like I'm railing, it is, because I'm frustrated. I'm really frustrated right now, and I didn't start out this video that frustrated because I hadn't really studied what I was about to do. I thought I was just going to come in here and do a little bit of backblading, 15, 20 minutes, and I'd be done. Because I've already done this. I've already graded all this after the foundation was poured. But then it just gets me worked up because I'm here sweating with a shovel, and I'm not getting paid to do this. Somebody else was paid to do this, and this is the way they left it. That's enough whining. I'll shut up now, but I would like to hear in the comments down below, is this normal? I've got it looking real good though. I mean, it's so much better than it was when I started. And I'll get in here, smooth it up a little bit, and then it'll be almost ready for sod. Enough complaining. Let's jump on the Kubota, smooth that out. And this is an economy model tractor. It is their basic L series, the L3901, 38-ish horsepower, plenty of power. Everything just fits me on this tractor, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you watch our channel looking to figure out what kind of tractor to buy, don't look at our brands. We have Kubota, we have Summit. This tractor fits me like a glove. I can spin on a dime. I can get close to really expensive brickwork, and I'm just not fearful of it. The controls on this tractor, the hydraulics are phenomenal on this tractor. Kubota has really, really good hydraulic. And we're not sponsored by Kubota. If you're looking for a tractor, and find one that fits you and feels good to you, and it should really be like an extension of your body. You shouldn't be clunky or clambering around or accepting things that maybe aren't as good as you want them to be. Find the brand that fits you. I've done a lot of work with the tractor off camera. This here is graded as good as I can get it, but I went around over here and grabbed where the mason for the extra brickwork on the house had some piles where he dug out. So I filled in around the septic here, graded that a little bit, but I didn't want to drive over here too much. So I didn't bring the tractor directly over top, but I got all this cleaned up, moved the brick so there's nothing left except for his tools, and we can start to see the brickwork. The grading didn't come out completely perfect here because there was a little bit of hay in the dirt, but it's good enough. I'm gonna just put hay over it. I don't think I'm gonna grass seed it today, but I am gonna go get at least 1 bucket load of millings and put over top of all this dirt here. When I was working out here, I looked over underneath the mega shed porch, and Miss Piney Grove was starting her spring garden. So she doesn't have a mic on, so she can't talk, but she's got her coffee and I don't know, watermelon, cantaloupe, squash, peppers, cucumbers, and then she's got the growing rack full over there. So she's really embracing this country life. First time in her life she's ever like planned a garden. We went and counted how many spots we have in the garden in our black plastic or our landscape cloth. We got about 100 places that we can plant something. So that's what she's up to. She'll have that knocked out. I'll have this knocked out, and then we can just relax tonight. Let's go get some millings and finish this job. So this is our millings pile, and I haven't been in it in a while since I fixed the driveway up there. So it's overgrown. It's got a lot of this really coarse Kogon grass that I sprayed, so it's all dead in here. And it's got big chunks of asphalt, little millings where it's been ground down. And this was actually our highway, which is about 3 miles that way, and they resurfaced it, and they sell like 70% of the millings because they recycle 30% or some number like that. And we got this really cheap 7 years ago at $300 a load. And I bought 10 loads to do the driveway, ended up buying 15 to stockpile some. I think there's about 3 loads left here, maybe a little less. But these are $1,000 a load now. They might even be $1,200 a load. So whenever you can get them, you get them, especially if they're resurfacing a highway real close by. But I'm just gonna mix it up a little and just try and see if I can get a good mixture to put up there by the house. It's been sitting here in the sun, so it's had a chance to kind of, I guess, melt together or congeal. Yeah, it's pretty tight. We'll get it though. Some of that stuff was really, congealed or reformed there on the bottom of the pile. And also I noticed that maybe it was bugs or roots or something. There was like a lot of dirt in the very bottom of the pile. And I know I dumped this on top of like flat ground. I didn't dump it on top of a dirt pile. So it's no big deal, but if there is more mixture of dirt in here than I thought there'd be. Just trying to keep these big clumps from going out here where they might get caught up in the lawnmower. And also I didn't want to overfill the bucket because it's bumpy going back to where we got to go. And I don't want to put gravel in the pasture. I learned my lesson a couple times actually transporting it over here from there where the trucks dumped it. I spilled a lot when I was going because I kept the bucket too full. But some of these pieces are really big. They'll get broke up like if a big truck goes over them. If they don't break up, I'll pick up the chunks and I'll put them around the pond culvert so you get less washout. Like if they end up in the center of the road, I'll put them back where the tracks go and just keep running over them with the vehicles. Some of the chunks are real big. I don't know why the grinder, kicks up a big chunk like that. Look at the size of this one. I mean, it's got some cracks in it. I guess if you got really hot summer day, you run over it enough, it'll break down, but that's a big old chunk. That's why I never get anything done. Instead of just coming in here and getting a scoop and finishing up the job, I gotta, refresh this pile and then clean it up. And I don't know, I wouldn't say I'm easily distracted. There's so many things to do that I want to get it all done. So I think, this will take 5 minutes while I'm here. And it ends up taking half an hour, 5 gallons of diesel, and all the battery in the camera. All right, now let's go put it on the driveway. All right, we'll put it right there. We'll back drag it. Looks like we probably need 2. Back drag it like this. Try to cover up that dirt. But you guys have seen me get 1 bucket of millings. You don't need to see me get another. So that's going to wrap up today's video. So until next time, remember, life's short, tractor hard. PG out.